If you look at the comments section of any solo female travel video, you'll see two very different worlds. One world is full of inspiration, freedom, and stunning sunsets. The other? It's full of warnings. Don't go alone. It's too dangerous. You're making yourself a target. But here is the fascinating paradox. Women are actually the primary force driving the growth of solo travel right now. In fact, women travelers currently outnumber men in the solo travel demographic by a significant margin, about 67% to 37%. We are traveling more than ever, but we are also terrified. A massive 88% of solo female travelers report feeling unsafe at some point during their trips. Safety concerns remain the #1 barrier stopping women from booking that ticket. So today, we are going to bridge that gap. We are going to look at a comprehensive research report from January 2026 that analyzed real-world data, not just anecdotes. We're going to cover 3 things. First, the actual statistical reality of danger versus the perception of it. Second, the surprising truth about where the real threats actually come from. Spoiler alert, it's usually not the movie plot kidnapping scenarios. And finally, we're going to give you the specific, actionable toolkit you need to travel with confidence. If you've ever hesitated to go solo because of fear, this video is for you. Let's start with the hard numbers. Because when we feel fear, our brains tend to catastrophe. We imagine the worst-case scenario. But what does the data say? Well, 88% of women report feeling unsafe, and 66% say they are actively concerned about safety. The actual statistical risk of a serious incident is incredibly low compared to the sheer volume of travel happening. Surveys show that only 1% of respondents reported actually being in a situation where they were unable to keep themselves safe. Think about that. 88% feel fear, but 99% manage the situation successfully. Now, looking at U.S. State Department data over a 13-year period, the fatality rate for Americans abroad is roughly 1.2 per million travelers. To put that in perspective, reported sexual assaults average about 150 cases yearly out of 68 million travelers. That is a minuscule proportion. I'm not saying this to dismiss the risks. We're going to talk about the real risks in a minute. I'm saying this because the perception of danger is often what stops us, not the danger itself. There is a concept called the experience gap. The report found that travelers with fewer than 6 solo trips report high anxiety levels, about 77%. But once a traveler hits 10 solo trips, that anxiety drops to 55%. That is a 22% drop just from getting out there and doing it. This tells us something crucial. A huge chunk of that fear isn't about the world being dangerous. It's about the unfamiliar being scary. So, if the world isn't as deadly as the news cycle suggests, why do we feel like it is? It's because of 3 pervasive myths that we need to debunk right now. Myth number 1, solo travel is inherently dangerous. We often hear that being alone makes you a victim. But research on homicide cases involving tourists actually found that being alone was not a determining factor in victimization. Many tragic cases involved women traveling with friends, partners, or guides. Group travel doesn't automatically equal safety, and solo travel doesn't automatically equal danger. Myth number 2, the lone female is an easy target. Criminology distinguishes between opportunity crimes and targeted predation. Criminals are usually looking for easy targets, not necessarily solo ones. A group of 3 tourists who are drunk, loud, and flashing expensive cameras are much bigger targets than one solo woman who is alert, walking with purpose and blending in. It's not about your travel format. It's about your behavior. And myth number 3, you're just being paranoid. Ladies, listen to me. Neuroscience confirms that gut feelings are actually rapid, unconscious processing of environmental patterns. If you feel unsafe, it's often because your brain notices a behavioral anomaly that your conscious mind hasn't caught up with yet. Dismissing these signals is a risk factor. But, and this is a big but, we have to calibrate. Are you feeling fear because of a genuine threat in front of you? Or are you feeling fear because you're anxious and haven't traveled much? Okay, we've cleared the myths. Now let's look at the actual vulnerabilities. If 99% of women keep themselves safe, what is happening to that other 1%? And what are the negative experiences that don't make the news but ruin trips? It's rarely the dramatic violent crimes. It's mostly property crime and scams. The most commonly reported incident is stolen passports and travel documents, about 28,000 cases a year. The most common negative experiences are stolen wallets, phones, and theft from accommodations. You need to watch out for financial crimes. We're talking rigged taximeters, official rides that aren't official, or accommodation fraud, where that cute apartment you booked doesn't actually exist. And then there is the issue that makes your blood boil: harassment. Street harassment, catcalling, and being followed are unfortunately common. While often dismissed as minor, this is what actually restricts our movement. It impacts our night safety and psychological well-being. And here's a shocker for you regarding geography. You might think Western countries are safer, but in the Solo Female Travel Safety Index, the United States ranked 68th. It actually ranked below countries like Qatar, Argentina, and Cuba. Why? Because of street safety issues, night safety concerns, and harassment. So, don't assume that developed means safe and developing means dangerous. The data simply doesn't support that. Enough about the problems. Let's talk solutions. How do we move from anxious to empowered? It starts with situational awareness. This isn't about being paranoid or hypervigilant. It's about being switched on. It's about recognizing patterns. When you enter a new space, do a quick scan. What is the baseline behavior here? Are people loud or quiet? How close do they stand to each other? If you know what normal looks like, you can instantly spot abnormal. Also, look for the safe zones. Families and other women are usually great indicators of safety. Next, strategic presentation. You want to balance authenticity with camouflage. The goal isn't to wear a costume, it's to avoid being a shiny object. Minimize visible wealth. Leave the diamond rings at home. Don't walk around with your expensive camera around your neck in a crowded market. And be smart about transportation. This is a high vulnerability area. Research your route before you leave the hotel. Don't be the person staring at Google Maps looking confused on a street corner. If you use ride shares, verify the driver and license plate every single time. Now let's talk tools. We are living in the golden age of travel safety tech. First, your phone is your lifeline. Emergency alert apps. These can contact local authorities with one touch. Offline maps. Download these so you can navigate even without signal. Ride-sharing verification. Use apps that let you share your trip status with a friend. Physical gear matters too. About 17% of solo female travelers now carry self-defense items, and the use of tracking devices like AirTags is skyrocketing. Put a tracker in your main bag and your day pack. Also, consider a portable door lock or a door wedge. They are cheap, lightweight, and they give you peace of mind when you're sleeping in a hotel or Airbnb. But here is a safety tip most people ignore: digital hygiene. We all want to post that amazing Instagram story in real time. Don't. Broadcasting your location in real time tells bad actors exactly where you are, and more importantly, it tells them when your hotel room or your home back is empty. Delay your posts. Strip location metadata from your photos. Be vague about your specific accommodation until you've checked out. And finally, the boring but essential one: insurance. 83% of experienced solo female travelers buy health insurance, and 76% get travel insurance. It's not just for medical emergencies, it's for when your bag gets stolen or your trip gets interrupted. It's the ultimate safety net. We've covered the gear and the stats. But the most important safety tool is other women. Research shows that women strongly prefer connecting with other solo female travelers over institutional advice. There is a reason for that. Building a soft network on the road is huge. Stay in hostels or social guest houses where you can meet people. Join online communities before you go. Having a buddy for a night out or a hiking trip reduces your vulnerability and increases your fun. And remember what we said at the beginning about the experience gap? The only way to close that gap is to start. Start small. Maybe a weekend trip to a nearby city, then a week in a country that speaks your language. Then, the big adventure. Experience calibrates your intuition. It teaches you the difference between new and scary and actually dangerous. So, let's wrap this up. Is solo female travel safe? The stats say yes, statistically. It is safer than you think. The reality says it requires work. It requires preparation, awareness, and smart decision-making. The travel industry still has a long way to go to support us. Only 18% of women feel the industry does enough. But we aren't waiting for them. Women are claiming their agency. They are buying the insurance, doing the research, and booking the flights. They are proving that safety doesn't mean staying home. It means going out into the world prepared. If you've been on the fence, let this be your sign. Do your research, trust your gut, and go. I want to hear from you in the comments below. If you're an experienced solo traveler, what is the one safety tip you swear by? Let's help the new travelers in our community. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into travel data and tips. Stay safe, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next video.